Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Talk with Antonio. I am your host, Antonio. And this week's episode will be about something that's I really wanted to talk about for a very, very long time. And that is delivery driving. As y'all know, in this day and age, we all live in a time that a lot of people, if they want to order food or whatnot or shop, like for example, like they do the shopping for the supermarkets, they all use these type of apps like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Postmates, Spark, etc. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually part of that whole world. I started with a scooter company. Then I applied these other delivery driving apps and so on. You're an independent contractor. I mean, it does have its pros and cons and whatnot. But recently, I have something like I've always heard of Reddit, but I never really like caught my attention. Well, not. I'm sorry, I take it back. I would say it never really like. I just never really cared about signing up for Reddit. But all of a sudden, someone told me, a very special person said, you should look it up. I was like, okay, I'll give it a whirl. And I created an account there, and I'm part of these group pages and whatnot. Holy shit. That's all I gotta say. Um, I've read some stories there, ladies and gentlemen, that I kid you not. It's I don't know. A lot of like mostly entitled people when they order stuff. I'm like, and then I see the stories like when they ask for the delivery drivers. I'm like, what the fuck? Really? Huh. But before I get into that, there is one that really, really caught my attention, and it says here, I'll read it to you right now. It says, "A Dasher's Worst Nightmare." And I was like, what the heck is that? And all I see is a guy, I guess is the Dasher, pouring a drink. And I was like, what's the nightmare? And that's something that somebody asked, what's the nightmare about that? I've seen some comments here. It says some people in this sub throw a hissy fit when they have to fill a customer's drink themselves. Then wait, I never understood why though. It says, and then other people says it's not their job. Then someone wrote this, and this is something I did not know about. I was like, wow, and listen to this. Health department requires staff to follow standard kitchen hygiene procedures to prepare all of consumable goods. If you went to the bathroom, pulled up your sleeves, washed thoroughly, and then prepare a consumable good, we are stellar. I just need to see your health department paperwork for your business and inspection records. You don't get health department inspections. You don't have food service certification. The one restaurants are required to have displayed. Then stop doing their job. If a drink arrives unsealed, I dump it all out and I call for a refund. If I find out the restaurants providing drivers like the seals, I report them to the health department in my city. I don't play with my food and I don't play with customers' food. I will not prepare food. It is not part of my contract. And such as DoorDash, better increased pay and training as well as state certifications being required to do the job. I was like, what the fuck? That's something I did not know about. Then there's other person said that any restaurants try this shit, tell them you will report them to the local health department. That's something I never knew about. I was like, I didn't know that. I was like, what the fuck? And yeah, some people are always saying, "Oh, people who do this job are always complaining." But then the other half was saying, "Yeah, that's not the Dasher's job to do that." And I was like, "What the fuck? I didn't even know about this." And let me see, which is another one, which is another story. It says here, report to DoorDash. Anything else I need to do? This one right here. Oh, well, that's actually very inappropriate. It says here, damn, you hella pretty. Can I take you out sometime? What the fuck? What would you say that? And then I guess this is the Dasher said, and I quote, dude, wildly inappropriate after a dark alley outside a woman's home. Fuck off. And DoorDash says, please avoid using profanity and abusive language when communicating with Dashers. Doing so can lead to the deactivation of your DoorDash account and outline our terms of service. But hey, I'm not saying I agree with the Dashers attitude there, but the customer saying that to that person, I'm guessing that's a woman. I think it's very inappropriate, and I would consider that. No, I wouldn't like to use that, but that's like, no, I'm not gonna say it. Simple, but yeah. It's ridiculous. Let me see which are the other stories I'm reading here. It's like, there's some plenty of juicy stories there that I was like, what the fuck? And the other stories I read here, some are good, some are bad. Some other complaints, and I'm actually reading here. It says here advice, and actually Reddit is actually very it's very like a very useful tool, you could say. Let me show you this one right now. There's the store posts by Flair. It says here complaints. Let's look at this one. But before I get to the complaints one, this one right here, that's a pretty good customer right there, if you ask me. It says here, thank you to the cat earphone and wearing customer for the biggest unicorn I'll probably ever get. It says here that this person gave this Dasher an $18 tip on a past Sephora order. Keep up the great work. That's awesome, And before, when I read this, the customers who give a certain amount, then they give extra. I would say those are like the best customers because they know Dashers who really put their effort into giving their best. Because I'm not gonna lie to you. Even though I've seen Dashers who act like complete dicks, they are the ones who make the actual the people who give their blood, sweat, and tears in their job to get their hard-earned tip. Some people don't tip. That's something I'll get into right now later on to this episode. But it says here that a customer added $18 on a tip on a past Sephora order. Keep up the great work. It's because this customer saw that this person was putting a lot of effort into delivering and this order to this customer. And that when I see a person like that, those are very good people, Okay, now let's go to the complaint posts. Oh my god! And I've seen some stuff that what the fuck. This is something that I've seen a lot. Penalty unassigned. This is one right here. This is a complaint. Okay. It's a shame I've only seen the penalty-free unassigned on the first order of doubles going to the same people. Many not for some of y'all, though you'll find useful when it's even the quality of people in your area. But for me, it's a questionably useful feature in practice when one restaurant drops the ball. Let's see what the comment says. Okay. One says, it only pops up on the order when you don't care waiting for because it's a good pay. LOL. Never the ones that you don't want to wait for. they cater to the this one right here. I would actually firmly believe in that. It says here they cater to the no tippers. Shit's a joke, especially since they made it so we can't see the no tipper stack pre-unassigned to order to look at. Another one said, I get the option on all my offers after waiting 10 minutes. Just have to go through the chat bot, long wait, extra pay wait, unassign me. It's funny how this is kind of hidden. They don't tell you it's an option. I guess it only works in some markets though. And that's something I've actually noticed that when someone wants to, some people, including myself, have actually done this, but I actually do it the old-fashioned way. I actually call the company because the chats is like it says right here, the bots. It takes a long fucking ass time. Well, what's another one here? If the offer comes up, it's never penalty free because you don't get any money for your wasted time. I could care less about the AR. It doesn't hurt you at all though. It would hurt your completion rate. I wouldn't worry about that either until DoorDash changed the lowest you can go before being deactivated to 90% instead of 80% CR. That's something that kind of irritates me about DoorDash. Why is it that, okay, when you work for DoorDash, Uber Eats, Postmates, Spark, Instacart, etc., you are an independent contractor, which means you work for yourself. You can make your own decision. And why I don't know how when Uber Eats, it's been a while since I worked there, and Postmates was a totally different story. That really didn't really come up. Actually, I've noticed that when Postmates I remember when I used to work for Postmates, I used to get a lot of some orders, and if they were not good pay, I would just not take them or unassign them. But I've noticed that with DoorDash, you have that completion rate. And that's something to me that should not exist in that app. I personally think that's actually kind of like a ploy from DoorDash to make you say, oh, you're not getting enough orders because of your completion rate, which I think that's fucking utter bullshit. I firmly believe that DoorDash should remove that. That's just my opinion. But I don't know. It's just like that's just a fucking ploy by that corporation, you know. And let's see. Which is another one right here. Oh, man. Look at this one right here. This one it was 14 hours ago. Got purged today in California. Your account has been deactivated. Oh man. Let's read this one. That's probably like the most awful feeling to get this type of message. It says, and I quote, "Your account has been deactivated. While your account was deactivated, we reviewed the suspicious or unusual activity and found that it violated our platform access policy. What happens next? You will no longer have access to any part of your Dasher account. Any pending earnings from completed and legitimate deliveries will be transferred to your bank account. However, you won't receive payment for any deliveries or portion of deliveries related to the illicit activities or platform abuse as outlined in the independent contractor agreement and platform access policy." And it says here the reason that this person got terminated was because got booted for having an expired ID when I have a valid license for years that won't expire for years. Keep an eye out. Huh. That's kind of random. And let's see the comments right here, ladies and gentlemen. Same thing happened to me when I was able to get reactivated. Just file a dispute with check or background check provider. If it's all truly good with your license, it should take 1 or 2 weeks to get reactivated. Does Checker have a dispute system as well? I did the form with DoorDash and I updated my ID right before the deactivation was sent through. I'll go through any path necessary, multiple if needed. Another person says, log in with the Checker there, and there should be a dispute. I logged in through the email. They sent options. I chose the one that says something about my license status Then I emailed DoorDash and I dispute the deactivation they sent. When it comes to stuff like this, okay, I think everyone makes a mistake. We human beings, we all make mistakes. And I guess this person had their ID expired because some people just don't check their stuff. Because I'm guilty, because sometimes whenever I don't check stuff, it's because we just focus on our jobs and do this and that. Sometimes we don't even have time to just check our driver license or IDs if they expire soon enough. And I'm not gonna judge the guy. I mean, it happens though, but after seeing this, I think after people reading this here on this website, I think people are just gonna have to be keeping an eye out now more than ever, because if you don't update your driver license or anything like that and it's expired, you could get terminated by that. That's just my opinion though, but I hope this guy got his brand new driver license and got reactivated, because it sucks though. I hope he did get reactivated by DoorDash though. Okay. This is something that I saw right now. This is another thing that really caught my eye. I read this in an article in Yahoo about earn per offer or earn by time. It says here that earn per offer, pay per offer, plus customer tips. Oh, that's another thing I will get much into later detail. It says here, well, this is new. Guess I won't shoot for Top Dasher anymore. And the facepalm emoji. Let's read this. Dash now isn't available even though I'm a Top Dasher. Clicking Dash now results in an error. Dash anytime is literally the only reason I maintain Top Dasher. It looks like if you're a new Dasher, welcome to new DoorDash drivers. Okay, it says here that sounds like it's an error. Tony uses that as a carrot to get people to take garbage orders. I don't think he's going to eliminate it without replacing it with something. Unless, of course, you're part of the new pilot. We don't even have earn by time here. Are you in your home zone? That's what someone says. Are you in your home zone? No, the person who posted up says, yes, I am. Then I agree with the glitch theory. It has never happened to me. It says here, another one says, well, with someone jumping part of your system and now turning Dash off, absolutely zero reason to maintain Top Dasher now. Perhaps another wave of hires is coming. My area had $25 for a month. Then last week punched it to $500 for you to $300 for them. Considerable difference. I read in an article in Yahoo. I think it was released probably about a while back, maybe like a few weeks ago. They say that this new system right here is going to roll out at the end of the year. And I read that some Dashers are pretty much sick and tired of not earning a lot or not getting paid enough. Because I will tell you this though. Lately, I don't know if maybe because the pandemic ended or because during the pandemic, the delivery driving services were up. Amazon, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Instacart, etc. Some were still paying shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I guess ever since the pandemic ended, we've been getting a lot of shit orders. I literally mean that we have been getting a lot of shit orders. And the one thing that really irritates me is that even in Uber Eats, I've seen that. And this is what really, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It just really infuriates me. Why in the fucking hell do we still get orders of $3 or $4 orders? That doesn't even cover gas, for Christ's sake. And I've seen that when it says this amount plus customer tips. No. I think what Uber Eats and DoorDash should do, they should copy the system of Instacart. Because the special persons show me how much they're going to get paid plus how much the customer is going to tip. When I see that, like for example, I'll give you an example. Say if Uber Eats or DoorDash had the system, if they were to see how much the company's going to pay you and how much the customer is going to tip you, and if it's a decent tip, yeah, I guess everyone will take it. But with DoorDash, I've noticed it says X amount including customer tips. How come they don't say it prior how much the customer is going to tip, you know? And whenever I see $3.75 orders or 4 something orders, it's because the customer's not going to tip. That is a very, very telltale sign that the customer's not tipping at all. And why is it that if that's the case, how come DoorDash doesn't crank up the pay for that? And you know that's something that I've noticed. One time I did order with DoorDash, all the fees, all the charges, Jesus, it's way like it's like they'll charge you an arm and leg, you know. And they pay the Dasher a very, very low amount. Like I was telling you, they'll give you $3.75 orders, $3 orders, $4.75 orders, or like to me, like the highest order, $8 or $9. That's pretty decent if you ask me. But when they give you like, whenever I see orders like that, I told you, I say go fuck yourself. I'm not gonna take that. I mean, the people who take them, that mad respect. You know, I respect that. That's their choice. Me personally, I think that's an insult. You know. But hey, whatever. Okay, this is another one, and location watching annoying customers. This one right here, I'm not gonna say the name of the customer. It says here, the customer texted the Dasher, "You're in the wrong place." And it says here that will we let this person know that you may be driving? Please message the customers when it's safe to do so. I guess the person wrote, the Dasher said, "Missed the turn, LOL, outside." And then the customer writes, "I am standing at the door. You're not." Okay, that right there is that's a huge red flag for me. And it says here that this big old lady couldn't wait to message me after I missed a turn. And as soon as I missed it, I knew they were going to message me. Shit's so fucking annoying. I was pulling up to the door when I sent that text outside. Didn't even see her response until I left because I was literally right there. She's obviously been having a bad day and had an attitude when I gave her the food. And even though she said thanks, I kind of have bad anxiety, so I keep thinking about the times the customers lied on drivers because they're mad and it got them deactivated. Even though I didn't do anything, so I'll probably be fine. Anyways, yeah, it's fucking annoying when they message you as soon as you miss the turn. I'm a human. Let me get her message thread out the phone before I respond to something stupid. And you know, this Dasher has every right to say that because some customers are so entitled. I mean, they're like big time Karens right there. And I'm sorry. It's just the absolute truth. And something, you know, I'm gonna say this, and like I said, I don't condone like when Dashers act like complete dicks, but some Dashers who act very professionally, and then the customers act like dicks towards them. And sometimes I will say this may be wrong on my behalf, but I do believe if any type of like if you work for DoorDash, Uber Eats, Postmates, if you act unprofessionally, it's because the customers push them to act unprofessionally. You know? I mean, that's just me, ladies and gentlemen. I don't condone that type of behavior, but if it's because customers push these workers to act unprofessional. However, though, this is something that I don't know if this falls into this category. I've seen videos getting posted on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. It's even appeared on Yahoo. A dasher got so mad that the customer didn't tip at all. He did something that made the workers, the dashers. I don't condone that. That to me is fucking wrong. You know what he did? He posted a video. He grabbed the telephone and he started recording. And he got the food that was meant for the customer to start eating and posted up on TikTok or Instagram. Okay, that right there is dead wrong. I do not agree with that behavior, ladies and gentlemen. Why would you do that? And besides that, you're showing your face. That's stupid, you know? That is top of the line stupid. And also, I guess it's because of people like that who make look other people who is in that line of work look bad. It's because of people who act that way. That's wrong. That's totally wrong. And it's just wrong. I don't agree with that type of childish behavior of the people who do that just because they yes, I know it is annoying when customers don't tip. It's not I'll say this, it's not obligatory for customers to tip, but however if they tip a little bit more, I mean, it's more motivation to some people do this as a side hustle, but some people actually do this as a full-time thing. I mean we don't know what type of shit the people who are doing this full-time, I mean, they really need the money, you know? And being a dasher with a worker with either of these type of companies, it's the only thing they have, you know? But with going back to that guy who ate the food in front on camera, that's fucking wrong. And I saw another one who the magic of Ring, ladies and gentlemen. I saw a guy who was delivering food for DoorDash, and he did the thing. He left the food on the mat and everything. Took a picture. About like a few minutes later, a guy with wearing a ski mask got the food and ran off. It was obviously the dasher in disguise. And that's another thing that's just fucked up. It's people like that who make the dashers who work hard look bad. It's because of there's like always bad apples in the line of, in any kind of line of work. Okay, let's go on to the other one. Let's see. This one's not good. Let me see. Luckily I have not had this. The user posted this. Does this feel invasive to anyone else? Driving insights. Your safety is important. Just for your information, here are some insights for your most recent dash. Compare with your recent driving trends based on similar distances. Hard braking, average 3 times, 100% 6 times. Rapid acceleration, average 2 times. Instances of hard braking and rapid acceleration may lead to higher chance of an accident. That sounds like harassment for me, if you ask me. And the person said this: forgive the rant, but I've been feeling a bit exploited by these driving platforms, tracking my driving habits on my phone with my car. That's going to be the reason why I stopped driving for them. DoorDash, let's pay drivers below the poverty line and grade them for one on time arrival to give customers more reasons not to tip. Also, DoorDash, don't accelerate hard enough to make your on time arrival. Also, let's make drivers pay attention to the app while they drive, and we'll fuck over another arbitrary metric. It should say something that I'm able to watch the road while fighting this stupid app. Heartbreaking necessary just to survive in SLC, which is Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City. When you have zero distractions. I expected this shit from Comcast because they supply a vehicle. I would expect this shit from a Comcast because they supply a vehicle, gas, phone, cell plan, and everything else you need to do the job. But in this case, where DoorDash pays below the poverty line and expects us to buy everything we need for the job from them, and then thinks they're entitled to track our own with our own phones, fuck right off, DoorDash. Yeah, I would say he is right. He is absolutely right. DoorDash sometimes doesn't pay good enough. Sometimes because of the customer who tips high enough, that's something. But DoorDash does pay shit in that aspect. I do completely agree with the guy. And what sucks is that DoorDash, you have to buy everything. You have to put your gas, you have to put your car, your cell phone plan, etc. And even if you want to buy tote bags, like the little bags they use for DoorDash, anything, pizza bags, etc., you have to buy it from them. With Postmates, I remember, who was it? I believe it was a friend of mine who applied for Postmates. He got hired a week later. They sent the black tote bag and the credit card. That's something, you know. If you want to buy extra bags, that's something. But at least they provide with one free bag. With DoorDash, nope. You have to buy everything. Even the first bag, they don't even give you anything. You have to buy a supply. Like you have to purchase everything, you know. And I don't think that's right. I think they should at least provide. If you're going to start working for them, you gotta at least. The corporation should at least provide with at least a couple of bags for starters. Then if they make enough money, they could buy more bags, because sometimes the little bags are not big enough. So they sell in their websites, they sell like the big ass bag, or even catering bags, which I've seen the price for catering bags. Fuck, it's pretty expensive. Okay, so on to the next one. Let me see this one right here. Okay, this one right here, this really takes the cake right there. And I don't blame the guy. He has every right to vent. It says here, man, people really stink. Got 3 crap ratings in 2 days over stuff I have no control over. It says here, and I quote, so I did a stacked McDonald's order to 2 people at the same hotel, and they both gave me a 3-star rating due to McDonald's not putting ketchup in their bags. Then last night I delivered to a rich area, and the kids answered the door laughing and chuckling with one another. Sure enough, they gave me a 1-star rating. It's such bull, as obviously it was nothing I could do to prevent that. And that right there is fucked up. Typical kids. One guy said this, and I quote, and I'll give you my answer for that. And I quote, sorry, but I had to laugh so hard reading, quote, kids answered the door laughing, chuckling with one another. Then you got a 1-star because kids were clearly fucking with you. Excuse me. It's like they were intentionally going to give you a 1-star and laugh at you. Kids these days, did they have their phone with them? If they did, they probably upload the video to TikTok with the title, I just gave this dude 1-star on DoorDash and laughing my ass off, unquote. And that's something I would strongly believe that happened. because kids nowadays, they don't care. They'll do anything just to make themselves relevant on TikTok, just to fuck with other people's livelihood. And I feel for the guy because I've been there, I've been there because when people give you a bad rating over something very minor, it just sucks, And then when you call the corporations to say that how come this and that, how come I think they should be removed, and they'll say, no, we cannot remove the customer ratings because of this and that. And I think that's fucking bullshit if you ask me. Something happened probably like about a couple of months ago. I saw someone gave me a 1 star. And I was pretty mad about that. And I called and I said, why is it that, can you maybe do a review because of this and that? And they told me, no, because the customer already gave the rating and we can't remove it. And I was like, in my mind, I was going, fuck you guys. But I didn't. I just said, you know what, thanks for nothing. I hung up. Clearly, DoorDash gives the customer way too much power. I would say that if I were to run DoorDash, I would say, okay, I would ask the customer, why are you giving this dasher and 1 star, and tell me a reason. And if they say because of this X reason, this and that, blah, 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 I would call the dasher and ask them, is this true? This person said because of, they gave it this 1 star because of this reason. And they would say no, and this and that. They were doing the investigation. Supposedly, that company does investigations, that could be further from the truth. I think that's utter BS. They don't do investigation. That's just a lie. That's how I would run that company. If this customer gave this person, this dasher, a 1 star because of this and that, and then I would like to hear both on both sides. But DoorDash only listens to the customer side. Well, the dasher, they can go fuck themselves. They don't give the dasher a chance to explain themselves. And that's not right to me. That's just me. I absolutely think that's not fucking right. And then the other guy says, it sucks. As a kid, I never did shit like that. And that's how it's supposed to be. Some people are just doing this for a livelihood, They're just trying to earn a buck. And for kids to do that, fuck them kids, Fuck them. All right. Let's see this one right here. Oh, this guy. And this is something that I fall into this category. Okay, this one says, is there anyone who's living with this? I'm trying, but don't know what's next. Some people are cruel. This guy got 3 contract violations based on the last 100 eligible deliveries. He has a 4.85 customer rating, which is pretty good. 30% acceptance rate, which is in the red. 95% completion rate, still green, which is very high. And 83% on time early. It's like in the yellowish. That's something, that's something I never agree with that DoorDash added. I think that was added later on in 2019. That before they didn't have the on time or early percentage, and then when they added that, that's just adding more pressure to the dashers. And this guy says also has 3,631 deliveries, which is pretty good if you ask me. Okay, and let's go back to what he says. I've never done this violations, but it keeps coming. I submitted my claim, but never accepted. I'm laughing out of anger right now. Okay. The on-time rate is kind of bad, one guy says. Okay, there's another guy says, and I quote, this is what he says. The first 4 months on DoorDash, my, quote, on time or early looked like this. 87, in parentheses, 87% on time or early 2022. Current day, 90% on time or early 2023. I'm sorry. Tongue twister. Honestly, this was due not to being aware that I had to select arrived at restaurant promptly when arriving and waiting for an order to be completed. From first starting, I was not aware of how important it was to select the waiting for order prompts before the arrival to the restaurant passed. Otherwise, if you selected arrived at a restaurant or waiting for your order prompts to pass arrival time to the restaurant, you are going to receive a Oh, okay, that's a new one on me. You are going to receive a contract violation even though you were waiting at the restaurant staff to finish preparing the order. I now communicate with the customer promptly whenever there is a progress to update with them. This keeps me attentive to the prompts when arriving at the restaurant. These additional interactions with DoorDash puts the delivery drivers and the apps are laborious for the novel driver. Unquote. This is something that I've noticed with DoorDash is that when you arrive at the restaurant, you press arrive at restaurant, and they give you a supposed time that the food will be ready at X amount of time. And when you arrive at the restaurant, you say, "I'm here to pick up an order for John Doe," and it says pick up at this certain hour, and then they say it's going to be ready like in about 15 or 20 minutes, and that's when you call the customer, say, hello, John Doe, this is the Dasher. I'm here at the restaurant. They told me they're going to give you, they're going to make me wait for 20 minutes for your order. Is that okay for you? And unless depending what the customer says, they say, that's okay. Sorry for if you have to wait that long. And they say, no. And I say, no problem whatsoever. As if you're like, this is something that, I've seen videos on YouTube also that if you're being in communication with the customer and you're telling them that I'm still waiting for your order or I'm waiting at this amount of time, excuse me, that the customer is well aware of what's going on. And there are some customers who are very understandable that you arrive at, say, for example, you wait a certain amount of time. Say, for example, you go to a Black Angus or an Outback Steakhouse or any type of a casual restaurant. But unless if it's a fast food place and they take too fucking long, okay, that's a different story right there. You know, that's not the Dasher's fault. That's the restaurant who's taking a long ass time. Okay. Another one says, same here, but I thought I had changed. Nevertheless, the rating remained the same. Yeah, it all depends. I'm never late, but my on time has been frozen for years at 91%. That is absolutely true. I know by experience. Another one says, yeah, I don't understand the on-time rating. I, too, have never been late with picking up or dropping off. I have never been in the 5-minute mark, or somehow my on-time rate has been at 95% for the longest time. No comment on that. Another one says, mine's pegged at 93% with no change whatsoever in 6 months now. What the fuck? Yeah, that has happened. Another one says, mine's been stuck for 2 years. I even wasted a bunch of time tracking my deliveries in a little notebook for 200 deliveries or so, and I was on every single one of them, but my rating never went up. I've complained to support about this multiple times, but they don't really care and can't do anything about it anyway, and claim that they are, quote, escalating it, but I have never heard anything back from anyone, and it never changes. That is absolutely true. I've called many times, and they just don't fucking care. They say, oh, our escalating team. But yeah, there are some times that have done their job, but I would say majority of I would probably say 70% of the times that they don't do anything about it, and the other times that have helped me, those are pretty rare times. So okay. Oh, but back to this one. I'm sorry that I kind of lost track of it. Let me see. Where was it? Okay. Back to this one. He says that he has 3 contract violations. And this is something that, no, I take it back. It does not anger me. It infuriates me. A few days ago, I did a delivery for Target. It was shopping for 2 items. And it was out of my area. It was at the border of where I was at, but I would say it says 5 miles, but it's still out of my area nonetheless. It was on the other side of town. I went to Target. I shopped for those 2 items. I went to the place. I parked my car. I did everything. I did the protocol. I followed protocols and whatnot. And I went to the door. I went to the address. I went to the door. I kind of had a hard time getting in because, it's a gated community. Some people, this is another thing that irritates me, is that some customers, but a majority of the time they do, but some customers don't even give you a code to get in. And sometimes you have to figure it out. Sometimes people they open the door for you, or the gates, the car gate opens, and then you just go in. Because that's how I did it this past Tuesday. No, sorry, Wednesday, I'm sorry. So I went there, I looked around the address, because that's like a weird, it's called Ava, the building is called Ava or something, and it has, certain building has a certain address. So I found the one where I was supposed to get at. I looked around, I couldn't find it, so I had to walk around. So I found the apartment building, and I did it. I found it, I took a picture, and I just walked out. About an hour later, I checked, because the app was I like to check how am I doing, my ratings, and it was slow. There were no orders whatsoever. And I checked, and it says I have 1 contract violation. And I was like, what? What the fuck? I went like that immediately. And I looked, it says, let me see if I can find it. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. Let me see. It says here, excuse me. It says here, order never arrived. It was a contactless order, never arrived, which in fact, that can be further from the truth. I have evidence for that. And when you do a contactless delivery, you take a picture, and when through the app, and the app, I believe, when you take the picture, it goes to their corporation, the company. But now I'll tell you something. What happened, and I'm glad I actually took a picture, because I always keep now. Ever since what happened back in October of 2021, I got fired because someone claimed. I'll never forget it. It was like in October 2021. It was an order for, I believe it was Shakey's, I believe. I picked it up. It was at the border of, it was out of my area, but it was still like in the area of the town where I work at. I delivered the Shakey's order, and so it was during COVID. A lot of people said leave order at the door. So I got the phone and I took a picture. Excuse me. I went back and I took the pictures and I left. Then I went back into town just to get more orders. And I went back into town and I got an order from this restaurant called Sansai. And okay, I pressed it. It was for 2 miles for $10, I believe. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll accept it. And then I get an order extra for extra $9 for 2 miles for Ike sandwiches. I was like, yeah, of course, I'm gonna take it. And right after I press accept for my Ike sandwiches, I was walking to Sansai. All of a sudden, my app just shut off. I was like, what the heck? What's going on here? And then I pressed the app and I restart it. And it says here, like, what the hell? And then I pressed the app. My shift was gone. About 2 minutes later, I get an email from the company. It says, "Dear Antonio, based on what happened, you have been you have been terminated." It says deactivated. So basically, I was terminated. I kid you not. When I saw that, I felt like if somebody just punched me so hard, like in the stomach, that I felt like when you feel like, I don't know if people have ever felt this, like when you hear something like shocking, like you feel like something go inside your body, like you feel like something like I don't know if it's your blood pressure that goes down and you feel like a cold shiver down your spine. Because when I read that email, and I'll never forget it, I remember I had the bag and I was holding my bag with my arm in between the arm and shoulder, like in your body. I don't know how. I'll never forget it, that when I read that email, it says that I've been terminated. I felt like I said, I felt like my blood pressure, like something in my body go down, and I felt like a cold shiver down my spine, and I dropped the bag. And I'll never forget that there was a lady who saw me. It was like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "No, I've been fired from my job." And she says, "Oh no," and I'm sorry. I was like, "Yeah, it's okay." And I walked back to my car, like, like you feel like you don't know what to say because you just lost your job. And I'll never forget it, that day when I was walking back to my car. The first people that I called to let them know what happened were my parents, my mom and dad. And I told them, "Mom, Dad, because it was it was pretty weird for them that I called them while working. That I told them, "Mom, Dad, I've been fired." And there was like, "What happened?" Just like at that moment, I didn't know why. And I told them this reason, like, I don't know, I've just been fired. They just told me that you could appeal, which I did. And my parents said, "Don't worry, son. I'm sorry. Just come back, and we'll talk. And we're very sorry that happened to you." And yeah, I did. I'll never forget that day. It was like I told my friends that, and also the special person. She said to me, "I'm sorry, honey. Just don't worry. Just go home. Just go apply somewhere else, but everything will be okay. Just I'm sorry that happened to you." I said, "That's okay," because I was shocked, And then I appealed, and I called. When I got home, I immediately started making phone calls, and I say, "What happened?" And yeah, I talked to them. About a day later, they gave my job back because they found out that the customer actually lied. They did get the food. They just wanted to fuck with me. And so back to what happened right now with my contract violation. why do customers want to do that? They just want to get their money back. They just want to say they didn't get it so they can get their products and just get their money back. Just to fuck with us. Like if any type of person who's in this line of job, they're like, I would say, I don't know how other people feel, but nowadays I kind of feel like now I'm gonna be on edge because of people who just say shit just to fuck with people, saying that they didn't get their food, their items or whatnot, which I have evidence right here. And when they say that, oh, I didn't get this, that could be further from the truth. The customers always fucking lie. You know? And I do think, I personally think that people should be held accountable for their actions. And I firmly believe that DoorDash doesn't do that. They don't fucking care. But they should care, because people who work in delivery driving are responsible for making the corporations into what they are now in this day and age. Yes, we're all just spokes on the wheel. Like if someone quits, they'll get replaced like that easily. And I firmly believe that DoorDash should at least hear out the driver as to why this and that, or X reason why this customer said this about you. That's just me though. And I'm still appealing, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of this, you know. But with this guy right here, I hope he gets his issues fixed, you know. I really do hope he gets his issue fixed. Okay. This is another one that I've kind of had my issues with. It says here, this is what the guy says. Dear DoorDash customers, if you want me to hand you your order, please, for the love of God, be ready for me. And this is what he said. And I quote, I've had multiple orders today where the customer had, quote, headphones on and didn't hear me knock or wanted me to deliver to their loft, which was in a gated community and behind a locked front door, and was given the code to neither. Deep breaths, unquote. Well, actually, okay. I'm sorry. I take it back. Prior to COVID, I do remember that with DoorDash, if you had to pick up this order, back then your job was to check the bag if the food was there, like the utensils or extra sauces or extra this or this and that. That was your job back then. But because of COVID, nowadays all the bags are sealed, which is like, okay, that's fair enough, you know. And give me one second. No, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. But because of COVID, ever since COVID, nowadays all bags are sealed. We cannot open them. Doesn't matter for what company you work for. If the bags are sealed, you cannot touch them, none whatsoever. But when like nowadays, very rarely I do get, when you get a lot of orders. Excuse me. I do get like a few of handed to me, which I understand, you know, because sometimes, like I said, there have been cases where when the worker leaves, the dasher leaves the food at the door, and then they claim that they did deliver when in reality they didn't. They just stole the food. In some cases, when it says "please hand it to me," that's just to assure that they got their order. Which is fine. Which I agree with that. Okay, let's see the comments. What the people said. Okay, one said, "I'm done dealing with rude customers who waste our time. I just take a picture, leave it at the door, and complete the order." There have been cases when it says, I'm sorry, I have to go back. There have been cases where it says, "hand it to me." Sometimes the customer tells me via message via text message on the app that says, "please leave it at the door," which is fine. I just leave it, but I take a picture nonetheless, just for anything for evidence. That's what I always do now. Other one says, "I give them one phone call and then immediately start the timer, regardless of if they answered the phone or not." Oh, that's a little bit to the extreme, in my opinion. Okay. Another one says, "start the timer as you approach the building. By the time you get everything all organized and walk the door, 2 minutes will be gone. Read and answer one Reddit thread, and poof, the other 3 minutes are gone. Some of you act like you run to the door like Usain Bolt, and maybe some of you do, but you won't last long at this job this way." I don't agree with that statement. Some people just don't use the timer, Other one said, "yeah, I had someone at Sybaris Hotel, basically quote, basically sex suites with indoor pools and spas, etc. do that to me. Kept me standing outside their suite listening to their groans. Like, seriously, just change the instructions to leave at door." Okay, when it comes to stuff like that, yeah, that's a little bit like, yeah, I don't want to fucking hear that. That's gross. Another one said, "I said this and got downvoted into oblivion. I guess it's just too much to ask for the customer to honor their end of the agreement. Meet at door." In that case, yeah, that's fucked up what the customer does, Okay, what's the other one? Oh, this one was all over the internet. And all over, it was on Yahoo and even on Channel 7. I remember seeing this. Okay, this is a video. Is a $5 tip acceptable for a $20 pizza? One DoorDash driver takes offense. There's even the video. I saw the video, Let me see if it's played. No, it's not, because this is the censored version. It says here, one guy says, "don't understand how this asshole doesn't get deactivated. I know it depends on mileage, but there's worse tippers out there." Okay. The guy says, I'm just going to repeat what the guy said. "This is a very nice house for a $5 tip." And the lady says, "you're welcome." And he says, "fuck you." Okay. That right there is beyond unprofessional. That is way, way unprofessional. No doubt about that. I mean, $5 it's like, I'm not, he says that the nice house, I don't know, it has to do with how big or the nice houses, but I would say that, okay, it's a 50-50 thing. I've said this before. Tips are not obligatory. But it all depends on the person, And I remember one time I was working in the West San Fernando Valley. I'll never forget it. I went to there was a pizzeria nearby. I don't remember the street name exactly. And I went to a house, and I believe it was for a pizza party for children, which was like, it was for 6 pizzas. And I went to the house, and it was a very, very, very nice, decent house. And the people, oh my God, they were. When I got the order, it said a different amount. I believe it was $15, but it was just around the corner where I had to deliver. I just pick up at the pizzeria, and the house was just around the corner. And now I hold on. I'm trying to remember exactly how much it was, which was it was okay. I would say. And then when I get to the house, the guy says, "Oh, how you doing? Now you here? You're delivering the pizzas?" Yeah, yeah, sure. And I gave it to them, to the guy. And he said, "Thank you so much." And lo and behold, when I see the app, he gave me a $23 tip, and it was X amount for the DoorDash pay. But he gave me $23 in tip, which was beyond awesome. I kid you not. I swear on everything that I own and love, that's how much he tipped me. And I thought that was very, very cool of him. He didn't have to do that. Like I said, tips are not obligatory. But when he tipped me that amount, I was speechless. And another one, the highest tip I ever got was $33. Was for Total Wine. It was a store for Total Wine. That was the highest amount I've ever gotten in DoorDash, which is pretty good, you know. But for this guy who said "fuck you" to the customer, look, yeah, I do understand that some customers are rude or who are just like entitled. But you have to be professional, you know. Like you can't just say this and that. However, if the customer is becoming beyond rude or something else, okay, that's a different story right there. But the guy just said "fuck you," and no, that was totally unprofessional if you ask me. The guy said that one person said, "Don't understand how this asshole doesn't get activated. I know it depends on mileage, but you know there's worse tippers out there." Yeah, he's absolutely right. Okay. It says here, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. It says here that one guy said he did get deactivated, and this is about the 100th post about this. Other people said, "Damn, well, good. Sorry, I didn't check to see." One guy said, "Is this new? Wow, never seen this one." It's not the food, it's the mileage. And DoorDash okay, this is something that it kind of makes me think. It says here, it's not the food, it's the mileage, and DoorDash needs to raise the base pay to $6. And that's something that I would agree with. And the other guy said, "That's what I said. I know it depends on mileage." One guy said, "It's not about the amount of the order, it's the time the order takes to be delivered. How come no one is talking about this, about how this lady lets her dog out? She should be deactivated for that." And that's something else, because there have been a couple of times where, look, I don't knock or ring the doorbell unless the customer asks. That's something that I'm going to get into right now. But sometimes when I get near the person's house, I hear there's some big dogs, and then little dogs start barking. But that lady who just like opens the door, lets the dog out, that's putting the DoorDash driver at risk right there. It doesn't matter what the size of the dog. That's a bit dangerous if you ask me. But in regards to not knocking doors or ringing doorbells, that is a pet peeve of mine. Because I remember the first day I worked for that company, I didn't know. I wasn't new back in March of 2019. I remember when I rang the door. I didn't say nothing on the instructions. I remember that when the guy opened the door, the guy gave me the yelling of the century. I was like, "Dude, I'm just delivering food, you know." But some people say instructions, "Please do not ring doorbell." I understand if they have babies, because some say, "Please don't ring the doorbell because of or knock on the door because it'll wake the baby up." That's understandable. Other times they have said that please don't ring the doorbell or knock because it will make the dogs go batshit crazy. I'll never forget that one. That I even text the customer when I told her that when I read that I won't knock on the door or ring the doorbell, but when it said the dogs will go batshit crazy, I laughed, and she said, "Oh my god, you're like the first one to say that." I just found a lot of humor in that. Okay, let's see this one right here. Oh, I don't know if this falls into this category. It says here first order of the day. It says here it supports. Hello, how can I help you today? And the dasher, I believe, says someone stole the order from this restaurant for this person. And the support says, let me call the store. Hold on. And he said, yeah, I just talked to them. There have been times that were that irritates me because I just go there just to waste my time and my gasoline. I remember like the times that has happened to me is either for McDonald's or for Carl's Jr., but most of the time it's McDonald's, and they say that someone just picked up the order or no. And whenever I hear that, I just start getting very, very angry because it's just wasting my time, you know. Okay, this is another one right here. Unpopular opinion. If there's more than 2 drinks in an order, dashers need to be paid more. Okay. Sick of anxiously driving, picking up, delivering 4 drinks to a customer. It's bullshit. The amount of risk that's assumed for the order and also our cars is so stupid. There needs to be a limit on this shit. Okay, DoorDash responds to ideas like this, a pay cut. Another one said, helpful hint, go to Walmart to get yourself a self-cooler bag and keep it up front so when you do get ice cream or 4 soda orders, you can put it in there. Save you from spills. Unpopular, you keep using that word. I do not think it means do not think it means what you think it means. Another one said, restaurants should be forced to pack it in the same way as McDonald's does. In the bag, it works. That's something when I remember when I started working in this type of job. I remember I picked up an order from McDonald's. I didn't know. Like I said, where's the drink? It's inside the bag. I was like, oh, okay. I was baffled when I saw that. You know, because I was like, where the hell is the bag? But sometimes the McDonald's workers don't pack the drinks pretty well, and sometimes they spill. Because I remember I was watching a dude who does deliveries for Uber Eats on Instagram, and he picked up an order, and then when he saw like the drink spilled, I was like, eee. I was like, oh my god, I've been there, you know. And he had to call, I believe it was Uber Eats, so he had to explain to the customer, and the customer was very, very chill. I know, don't worry about it. It happens, you know. But that's somewhat of a risk. Whenever I get a lot of drinks, I get a little bit nervous. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, this one right here, I don't agree with this statement. It says here, the real problem is nowadays a large soda is like half a gallon. No reason for sodas to be that big. I mean, okay, who are you to judge? If a person wants to drink that amount of soda, let them. It's their choice. Yeah, I know this person might think it's too much because of the sugar. I do think so too, but hey, that's the customer's choice. Let them drink that much soda. That's not your problem. Says another guy says that Michael's Craft Store has big plastic cup holder carriers for $1. Carry 6 and they're deep enough that they won't tip over. But yeah, I hate orders with drinks. I agree with that. Okay. That's pretty much it, you know. Whoa, look at this one right here. It says here, I got an order for 14 large slushies last week, a $10 tip. No, I don't know. That's just a little bit too much for me. This one right here, this is another one that I feel, but why take it, you know? Okay. It says here, I hate non-tipping customers. This was a $3 add-on order. I knew I shouldn't have taken it. Customer lied. Dasher cried. I hate when customer want free shit when we get blamed for shit that we get deactivated. I thought of going back and confronting her, but seeing that I'm 6'3", man, and she was a woman like 4 feet 10 inches tall, would have not made the situation any better. Let's see. You made the right decision. You'll get a CV, but you won't get deactivated over a claim that order wasn't delivered. You'll get deactivated if you confront the customer, even if the customer was lying. In my years of doing this, I have never, ever confronted a customer. Never. The only thing that I would say happened to me was, I remember one time, that's another reason why I now carry something like just to protect myself. No, it's not a weapon. No, it's just something else. Nowadays, I remember back then, I got an order in the town that I was working at. It was for Hook Burger. And the delivery was at the border of it was it was not far. It was just like not even half a mile. But it was at the border of the town where I was working at. And I remember I got to the address. I don't know what type of building it was. As soon as I got there, I'll never forget that I saw a door. It was open. I was like, okay, I assumed this was the place. And all of a sudden, this Armenian dude said, I said, delivery for DoorDash. And this Armenian said, no, you got the wrong address. No, this is not the right. You're at the wrong place. All of a sudden, I see this other big Armenian dude with a very hostile attitude. I said, what do you want? We didn't order DoorDash. Get out of here. But he said it and even the body language was in a very threatening. He said in a way, in a very threatening tone, and even his body language was like he was looking for trouble. And I was like, I contacted the customer. I said, am I at the right address? I said, yes, I'll be right with you. I'm sorry about that. And I told him, do you know this person right here? He said, no. And I told him what happened. He said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry you encountered this type of people. And yeah, that's about the only time I would say that I had a problem in my line of work. Another person said, I would have went back. If I'm going to lose my account, I'm going all out. We'll burn this motherfucker down. The only recommendation I have is to record everything, use the timestamp app, and record all to hand me interactions. Okay, the day this happens to me, I'm probably going to go to prison. Fucking with a man's money is almost as bad as fucking with their girl or their kid. So I record every single drop-off to make sure it don't happen. That's actually not a bad idea, you know. Wait a minute, hold on. Says I always take extra pictures for any type of evidence. Record it. That's not a bad idea, you know. I think this person's onto something. Okay. There's a lot of the complaints, but I'm only doing like the great ones, you know. Like the good juicy ones, you know. Okay, this one right here. I was mentioning about this. It says, just saw a DoorDasher eat a customer's food. So I'm waiting on my Whataburger order, right, sitting by the window. Another Dasher comes up and picks up their order, gets in their car, and I'm just looking to see the lady immediately open up one of the bags, eating a handful of fries. It's just beyond insane to me that you're out here making money for yourself but chose to steal from your own customers that are paying you. Dashers like this is what gives us a bad rep. Lower than low if you steal food. Okay. The guy is absolutely right. It's because of people like that. It's because people just don't want to order out or just pay the people who do this type of line of work. I think it's just absolutely wrong. And lower than low if you steal food, I agree with that. Okay, let's see. One said that could be a factor. I mean, I don't know, but I don't believe that. One said, "Are you sure they didn't order for themselves through the app? Lately, DoorDash has been offering 30 to 50% to pick up your own order after you dash." Yeah, I've gotten that. That could be a possibility. I mean, I don't know. Could have been a pickup. One time I wanted to order for a place near me, but their site just redirects you to DoorDash to order for pickup. When I opened the bag to check the order was correct, I got the most what the fuck look from the person who handed me my order, and I was like, "That's me." I would probably react like, "Why you give me that look? It's for me." You know, that's what I would have done. Okay, that's pretty much it. There's no more comments there. Okay. This is something that it's somewhat concerning to me. Lately, in my line of work, I've been getting a lot of, there's hotspots. And I've been noticing like the hotspots become very, very small. And it says, look at this one right here. It says, near Carol's LLC, many Dashers online expect wait time. I don't believe that. I don't believe that there's a lot of Dashers online. I would say that's probably a ploy from DoorDash. Just like for you just to stay there, you know. I think that's just a ploy, you know, and I don't think that they should be doing that, you know. It says here, many Dashers online expect wait time. I don't believe that. And if they're hiring more people for that company, and that's making like the other people who have worked for that corporation for a long time not getting enough orders, I do think that there should be a time that corporation should just not hire more people, you know. You know, that's just my opinion. One person said, same shit here. I really don't understand what the fuck is going on Saturday and Sunday that barely there is any orders. And usually on the weekends, that's where everyone gets great orders, you know. It says here, another one said, too many Dashers now. I mean, who knows? I don't know. Something 2 hours and no orders. Today has been shit. One said, and this is something I do firmly believe because the support don't give a shit. It says, my guess is the scheduling screen bug is making more people able to schedule. I reported to DoorDash a while ago with screenshots in the description, but I don't think they care since it only hurts drivers. And that's something I do firmly believe that DoorDash should address, because it's fucking over other people, you know. The other Dash has been there for quite some time. Let me see, which is this one? Nah, this is not a good one. Okay, pushing employee. Okay. And I'm almost towards the end, and this is something that I completely understand. It says here, pushy employee. Picked up an order at a local wing place tonight, had to wait a few minutes, less than 5, which was no big deal. When she called the name, I walked to the counter and showed her my phone, thinking she might want to check the name. She made an attempt to grab my phone so she could press the confirm button. I pulled it back and I said, I got it. I know that she wanted to make sure I confirmed right away, but I did not appreciate her trying to grab my phone from my hand. Anyone else experiencing this? Okay, me personally, no, I have not experienced that. However, though, lately I have been experiencing with like certain vendors who have been treating not just the Dashers, but other delivery drivers, like for Uber Eats. I don't know what other app they exist, but lately I have been noticing like the merchants, like the restaurants, have been treating the delivery drivers like shit, and I do not appreciate that. You know, they should be like, I'm always polite. I'm always very nice. I treat people. I'm always nice with people, unless like I'm polite. But if they're being rude to me, I'll be rude back. That's just me, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Let's see what the comment says in terms of the pushy employee. One person said, a few times, pretty easy. You just move the phone out of their reach. They tend to get a little upset when I say, look, don't touch, or look with your eyes. Not with your hands, in a terribly condescending tone I practiced for years on my younger sibling. Okay, that's one. Okay, that's something. Okay. Another one said, yes, and only at Wingstop. I never go there anymore. The first time, they actually got my phone because I was not prepared for them to grab it. They made me stand there for 5 more minutes because they didn't have the drinks ready. Second time, I didn't let them grab my phone, and the cashier cussed me out when I said, I will mark for it as picked up when the entire order is ready. And again, I had to wait for the drinks, but this time it was on their dime, not mine. Never went back. That place is all decline for me now. With Wingstop, no, I've never had that encounter. Ever. But with if that person said that, they're not lying. I firmly believe in 1,000%. But me personally, that has never happened to me before. So, okay. This is another one right here. DoorDash knows that people already don't like to tip. Why expand zones? Now I should go 15 miles to the next city for $5. No thanks. AR has been tanking due to this. Okay. They stay letting no tippers get away with it. Pissed me off when they stopped showing the amount. Oh, that's something I didn't know. I didn't know that because I went in a little bit late. It says here that pissed me off when they stopped showing the amount you get if you decline due to one. Okay, I'm sorry. I take it back. If you get the decline due to one of the stacked orders you get, aka can't see no tipper, and they decrease our base pay on stacks too. Shit's a joke. Yeah. Another one said, yeah, they are destroying every incentive the driver has. Another one said, funny thing is they add a message on the customers and saying tipping will increase the likelihood of someone taking your order. That's fucking another DoorDash ploy. It says that tipping will increase. That is not true. That is a fucking lie right there. Okay, this one right here says, this is in Anchorage. I don't even know if it's Anchorage, Alaska. Yeah, Alaska. It says here, paper offer, customer tips. It's like a pretty big zone. Okay. It says here that there are 3 zones in this picture. One of them, the gray one, is a military installation that requires special clearance to get on. The otherwise it will be just part of the zones it's next to. The lower zone is 32 miles end to end and always has been, even though parts of the town sit right outside of it for some reason. The upper zone is over 25 miles end to end. We have a local Facebook group you can go a week without seeing someone post a complaint about 14 miles with no tip. Eventually, most customers learn that if ordering from across town, they won't get their food without an appropriate offer. If your zone just expanded, give it for the customers to learn that the longer drives require more pay. If the dashers in your zone don't accept the bad offers, it will sort themselves out. If you're worried about your AR for top dasher, you may want to restrict your dashing meal times to when it's busier and you're more likely to get more good offers. Okay, I would say that's not a bad idea right there. But at the same time, it kind of makes me think a lot. Why not just increase? If there are people who are not tipping, why not just increase the pay, the DoorDash pay, the base pay? I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. And that, like, if they're not tipping, they should give raise the base pay a little bit more. That's just my opinion, though. Okay, this is another one right here. Going to another zone ain't gonna happen for me. I don't care if there are no tippers. You're always gonna have low and no tippers. I just want an even playing field again. I just don't want to be punished for declining these low ball offers. That is something I agree with. I have been declining a lot of low ballers a lot. And I would say that was not the case when I first started working for that company. back in March of 2019. I remember it was used to be one giant zone. And then later on in that year, they divided into two zones. In the town that I work for now a lot and the other town. It used to be just be one giant zone. Let me see. Another one says, DoorDash is a corporation like any other operating under capitalism. They aim to profit as much as possible with little expense as possible. Their business model is based on exploiting independent contractors for cheap labor and squeezing as much as they can out of customers and restaurants. If you think they care about the Dashers, you are mistaken. And that's something that's so true. That is absolutely true. I firmly believe that. And that's where I think that this is where I mentioned this earlier. That when I ordered DoorDash once upon a time, I've only ordered with DoorDash once, and I saw the taxes, I don't know what it was, the charge for service, the taxes, and all these other ridiculous charges. It was a shitload of money, and then they're paying the Dasher very little money. No, I think DoorDash should at least just increase the base pay. That's just my opinion. Okay, this one right here. This is so annoying. And this is what the guy said. The customer, look what he says. He said, next time, and then he said the other in big bold letters, ring the doorbell. And the Dasher responded, will do, but if you watch the footage from your Ring doorbell, it will show me pressing the button. I hope you enjoy your food. Have a great day. Oh, he just didn't give a fuck. Great answer. And he said, and I quote, I dropped this order off, and normally with Ring doorbells, it lights up blue when you walk in front of them. And it didn't do that. So I knocked and still pressed the blue button, but there was no sound. I had another order to deliver, so I was like, I'm not going to fucking play Inspector Gadget and I'm literally 3 houses down and get this text. Like, did you get your food or not, ma'am? The order was for $5 for 6 miles. Please leave me alone after I delivered it. Excuse me. I actually agree with this Dasher. He did everything, and then the customer still texts him, bitching, say, next time ring the doorbell in big bold letters. Come on. Talk about entitlement, Let's see what the other people say. Most likely their Ring battery was dead. Another said, I second this. Another one said, apparently so is their heart. Yeah, that could be a case, though. That could have been the battery was dead. Another one said, I was wondering why some Ring doorbells don't light up blue. I always assume people set them up for security, but I just don't pay the monthly fee. I think they have to use it. Another one said, man, every single Ring doorbell I ring, it seems dead. LOL. People gotta get them fixed. Seems they never get visitors, and I love the sound of their own doorbell. This is a pretty good question. A very, very good question. Another one said, did the instructions say to ring the doorbell? And the person responded, no instructions, just leave it at the door. And if that's the case, then why is the customer bitching then, huh? That's something that really irritates me. Because most of the time, I get leave it at the door with no instruction. If it's a house, obviously just leave it at the door. But if it's an apartment complex or a gated community and it says leave the door, they don't give you instructions or anything like that. That happens, Okay, there's another one says this. This is the problem. Half of the people will throw you a fit if you ring on leave at door orders. The other half throw a fit if you don't ring. Be more clear with your instructions, people. Please ring a doorbell. Notifies a user when someone walks in front of the camera, so ringing it should be redundant. Also, those bug you daily with the batteries are getting low. So is this lady is really dull if she doesn't know it is out of battery. LOL. I agree. Some people say they don't even say ring doorbell or knock. So just say leave at door. I for one, I have a knack. I'm a stickler for reading instructions, and if they say please knock after leaving the order at the door, I always do that. Or ring the doorbell, I always do everything what they say. I do everything. I always follow the instructions. That I'm a very stickler for that. Well, that's pretty much it. That's what it all says. But man, like right now, I'm like, this is just complaints. Okay, this is just a complaint aisle. Oh my god, it's like, let me see, what is this one here? This one's lame. I'm not gonna read that. So, excuse me. This one right here is pretty interesting. It says here, support insisting I unassign an order when I didn't. Okay. It says, and I quote, I was picking up an order and was told by the restaurant that they just gave it to the dasher in front of me. I contacted support and they just as they were saying they were going to cancel the order vanished from my app. The agent said, quote, why did you unassign the order? Unquote. I told them I didn't. They said okay, and that was the end of that. Then I noticed my completion rate went down. I called support to explain what happened. They basically accused me of lying because it showed in the system that I assigned the order when I absolutely did not. They refused to adjust my rating. That's something that has happened. I've always had issues with support. It even shows I was paid half pay for the order. Support insisted it was from another order from earlier, that I did 100% unassigned, that they insisted was canceled. What the hell gives? They refused to help me. Oh, the order is back on the system because I got it again immediately after it disappeared. So it wasn't canceled, but I was also paid. I'm so furious. This happened to me about a week ago. I was working Sunday in the town that I usually work for, and it was a pretty slow day. No orders whatsoever, and all of a sudden, it was around 3 o'clock. My shift just disappeared. And I was like, what? And it was almost dinner time. And usually I get orders at dinner time. Pretty good orders at dinner time. I was furious. Just like the guy said, I was so furious. I was furious also. And I called and I explained to them what happened. And the only answer they gave me, and I swear to you, when I heard that, I said, it was just that's all? That's all you're going to do? You're not going to help me? And they say that I should schedule another shift. I'm like, that's the best you can do. You can't help me get my original shift back. Come on! I was mad. I had like this like hostile attitude because I was angry because I lost my shift, and for this week, I was not paid pretty good enough. It was a pretty poor month, so whatever. Yeah, they didn't help me. Okay, one person said, best just to move on. Support can be incompetent, but you've been paid for the order and a small hit to the completion won't hurt you in the long run. If you are rude to support, you can get removed from the app. That could be a factor, yeah, but like I said, but I have apologized though, because I have been very, very angry with the app. I mean, who knows? Another one said this. Let me guess. When you completed the order, your completion rate went back up again. This happened to me so many times. Personally, I strongly believe that there is a bug in the order acceptance screen logic that it means that it can time out even after you accepted it. And that time when it does, the effect of an unassigning the order. This will happen within a couple of minutes. It has happened to me several times in a day. I reported, but support's got nothing with the Dasher's developers. I believe that. So, all right. So, no cal order, not cal orders. Disrespectful customer at drop off. Let's read this one. Okay, this one right here is called disrespectful customer at drop off. This was the first time I had ever had an experience like this while doing DoorDash. I have been driving for about 2 years now. So I have 2 orders to pick up at an AutoZone for about $10 for both. The first was right next to where I just dropped off an order, and the last was in my normal starting zone. The first went as usual and had about a few seconds of friendly hellos. I drove to the second drop-off, which was about 8 minutes away. I go inside, and there's a man standing at the counter waiting, and I said, "How are you doing?" while smiling. And he says, "Waiting on you." I said, "Okay, can you sign here, please?" I give him my phone, and he finishes and then proceeds to throw my phone down the counter. I said, "Don't throw my phone." He laughs. He says, "I'm serious." Asks for his name, and the guy pretends to not know. He goes to get the manager, and the manager makes excuses like they're busy, and etc. I tell them, I'm calling corporate still. I can call and file a complaint. Also, file with DoorDash. This was really upsetting because I'm a woman, and I don't think he should have done this to a man. Just because he just had to get this out. Anyone had an experience like this, and what was the outcome? Me personally, I have dealt with rude customers. When I first started working, I was like all meek and sheepish, and I was like, "Oh, please, I'm sorry," and I was always polite, but the rude customers were always like being like dicks towards me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I apologize if I can do this to make it up to you. But now, I've had some encounters with rude customers. And I don't take shit from them. And I'll just tell them to fuck off. There was one time, some guy I even called a special person, told her about this, and she was like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." And I remember one time, some guy got pretty mad because he didn't get his fucking utensils, eating utensils, that is. And when I got there, I was like, nowadays, like restaurants, they just don't give you eating utensils. The customer has to ask them because it is law now here in the state of California. And I remember I delivered, and the guy got mad and said, "Where are my eating utensils?" "What do you mean? You didn't give me eating utensils?" And I said, "No, because you had to request them. We can't just grab them anymore. It's the law now." And then he started calling me names and that I was lazy, got to do his eating utensils. And I said, if I'm lazy, I think you're the lazy one because you couldn't even get it yourself to go get it yourself. You get the food yourself, you know? Don't fucking call me lazy. And I just went off. I don't take shit from anybody anymore. Especially from the guy got so mad at me just because for over fucking eating utensils. Come on, dude. It's ridiculous. Well, that's pretty much it. Acceptance rate sucks. Okay, that's pretty much it in terms of complaints and whatnot. All of them are just like saying, "Oh my God, This is ugh. Before I end this podcast, before I end this episode, I'm sorry, I meant to say that this one right here is like, oh my god. It says here, and is it just me, or is this quote pay by the hour unquote thing absolutely destroying this for people that quote pay by the job unquote? And this one right here, oh my fucking god. It was a pickup from a restaurant. I don't know what it says. Let me see what's the name of the restaurant. No, it doesn't say. It says picking up from the restaurant, and he had to drive 14.4 miles, mind you, for $3.50? Are you kidding me? That is absolutely ridiculous and fucking unacceptable. $3.50 for 14.4 miles? Get the fuck out of here, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just baffled right now for what I'm just reading. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just speechless right now. I don't know what to say. 14.4 miles for $3.50? Are you kidding me? Huh. I don't know. I don't know what to say, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just speechless for what I just read right now. Okay, this person said this. I'll be honest, I've completely stopped doing earn per offer orders. I would rather waste 1 hour driving, getting paid, than 1 hour sitting in a parking lot pissed off at terrible orders, scrolling through TikToks. I agree. I'm going to SoCal next week, and I think that's the plan, some guy said. Oh, okay. That what is it? That pay by the hour. Oh, okay. This is something this caught my eye right now. It says here, Southern California doesn't give you a choice due to Prop 22. It is all paid by the hour essentially, but the base is higher because DoorDash has to pay you 120% of minimum wage per hour of active time plus 34 cents per mile. I didn't know about that. That was oh shit. Okay, one person said, I'm sorry, I live in NorCal and pay by the hour isn't even an option in my area. Sure, we have Prop 22, but I certainly wouldn't say that it equates to DoorDash pay per hour scheme. If anything, is more of a combination of pay per hour and pay per order, as we still get all the benefits of being selective while also getting an additional boost in case orders take longer than expected. Yeah, another guy said, yeah, that's a good way to put it because Prop 22 definitely created a hybrid version. Someone visiting from a market without mileage reimbursement and mandatory 120% minimum wage payment is going to feel like they're making a lot of money if they dash in California. That Monday morning mileage reimbursement is a nice boost to start the week. Oh shit, that's good to know. So if, say for example, if I would get this order, I'll give you an example. If I get an order that's in, say, Burbank, and then I wound up going to, say, I'm not even gonna say this. This is like a big fuck that, West Hollywood, which is quote unquote closer, but no, that's way too far. And this is something that I've noticed from DoorDash, that I've seen, and I just say no. And that's another reason why my acceptance rate went down. There's a thing called Fuji, and it's spelled Fooji, Fuji. And Jesus, I saw an order that they give you 2 orders to deliver, but all the way out of the area. I saw it because a guy was picking up an order from Fuji in Burbank, and he was delivering all the way to Los Angeles, like way out, like in actual Los Angeles, like around Slauson and South Central. What? And they pay, and that's another thing that they don't tip. They don't tip at all when you pick up orders from Fuji. And I personally think that that's totally unfair. That you have to go all the way over there. Yes, they're gonna give you reimbursement with mileage, but it's still not enough, though. Do you realize the traffic from the Valley to LA? Getting to LA is just a fucking pain in the ass, and then going back to the Valley, you have to deal with the 405 and whatnot. That is just a fucking pain in the ass, you know. It's just absolutely ridiculous. That if that's the case, they should just jack up the price, you know, and pay. And I do believe that DoorDash and all these other apps should have a guarantee pay, like a certain amount, but a guarantee pay. I personally believe that DoorDash should have that, and not just DoorDash, Uber Eats, Postmates, Instacart, Spark, Caviar, etc. I think that all these delivery driving companies should have a guarantee pay. That's just my opinion, though. But not look, okay. Before I end this episode, okay, I'm just gonna say this: people who do this type of job, it's fine. It's a job. Some people say it's not a job. If you're doing something and you're getting paid, it's a job nonetheless. Fuck what all people say. I don't understand why some people say, no, it's not a job. It is a job nonetheless. Some people use it just to make extra money as a side hustle. But some, as I mentioned earlier before in this podcast, some people do this as a full-time job. If they do it, power to them. You know, I respect that. But in my opinion, I think that if that's the case, if people are not paying enough, I think that DoorDash should give a certain amount, or all these other delivery driving companies should give a certain amount, but it has to be to me a guarantee. There should be a guarantee pay. You know, I mean, who knows? Nowadays is like a lot of people want to do the independent contractor jobs because you have no bosses. And also, Grubhub, I forgot the other company. But you know, that's the one thing I've noticed with Grubhub is that you stay in one zone. You don't get out of the area. You stay in that zone nonetheless. You don't go anywhere. With DoorDash, I've noticed that you get orders outside of the area you're working at. And I don't think it shouldn't be that way, you know. So that's just my opinion. And reading all these stories of all these entitled people, and like mostly entitled customers and certain merchants, I think they should take a chill pill and be kind to the people who deliver the food or pick up the food at their restaurant or deliver the food at the people's houses. I think people should just be more respectful. Yes, I understand that some dashers are assholes. That's not going to change. But the people, the dashers who are kind and hard workers should get respect, you know, because not allowed to get respected, you know. So that about wraps up for this week's episode. I want to say thank you all for listening. I had a great time. And I want to say thank you all for listening. And I love you all, and good night.